The suspense is killing me.
Press play.
It's the arrow one.
And the arrow's pointing to the right.
Oh no. So we're going to start the show like this, right? Like totally blown sound? Yeah, that's
If we had somebody with some technical expertise, we'd
if
be in
only,
better shape.
right? Let's try that again. 3, 2, 1. Ah, yeah.
Much better.
Hey, everybody, welcome to What Drives Us, episode 153 for August 19th, 2015. My name is Russell Frost. I am your host this week. Danny Cooper is taking the week off because, well, it's in his contract. He can leave whenever the hell he wants, and I can't do anything about it. So next time, get a better attorney. That's my advice to all of you out there for everything. But luckily this week, I have an amazing panel, and let's start introducing them by our newest panelist, whose name I must apologize for because I've been saying it wrong. He is Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Greetings from the Great White North. That's not as white as it usually is.
And welcome back to the show. It's really cool to have you here, Mark.
Thank you.
It's good that he's Canadian, or he would have kicked your ass for pronouncing his name wrong.
Whatever you say, Fusco. Speaking of Dr. Evan Fusco, he's here, he's live, he's direct. Say hi, Evan.
Hey, Evan.
And Mark did a little pre-gaming, Evan did a little pre-gaming this week, so he's ready to go. We're just trying to catch up to him, basically.
Brew number 3 right here, home brewed IPA. Supposed to be 182 IBU.
What does that mean?
International
No,
bitterness
you
units.
can't. Yeah, you can't taste over 100. So the extra 82 is just for fun.
I'm going to tell you, I put a pound of hops into this 5 gallons of beer. But you're right.
Nice.
That is so not right. So not right. Well, speaking of, no. Here's a man who is absolutely right. He is our man in the great Northwest, Mr. Patrick Connor.
Oh, I thought you were going to Colorado next with that intro. Hello. Hello from Oregon.
I always wait, and then, it's like a
Yeah,
dramatic...
what about the trivia?
Where and the car's for sale here, and probably not where you are. Ha ha.
Fair enough. And last and definitely not least, he is the man who knows EVs and hybrids from the inside out. Our man in Boulder, Colorado, Mr. Paul Guzik.
Hey, good day, everybody, and glad to be back.
Now you are no longer the only Canadian on the show.
That's right.
Although, I guess you're a Canadian expat, so that's kind of different. It's not... And John...
Previously Canadian.
Yeah, previously Canadian. Former...
Reformed.
Are you one of those people that Trump wants to deport?
Oh.
That's right. He hasn't talked about the northern border yet.
Yeah. Oh, he'll
Give him time.
Yeah.
He'll get
That'll
to
be
you.
next week's Fox News.
Yeah, and I just said Trump as link bait. That's all. Trump 2016. So let's start off the show as we always do with our 2-minute news topics. Let's go to let's go back to Paul. Paul, start us off, my friend.
Sure. My 2-minute topic's not directly related to cars, but it's about where the electricity in this country comes from. I posted a link, and it's kind of neat to see the breakdown between coal, natural gas, hydro, nuclear, so on and so forth. And what I like to do is come back in 10 years and look at this chart and see how the energy mix is changing, because I think we'll see a lot more renewable as time goes on. And coal's getting a bad name. Natural gas is still pretty popular, but check it out, everybody. And I only took a minute, so now other people can have more time.
How politely Canadian of you. And that link will be in the show notes. It's a brilliant. This is the Vox story, right?
Yep.
You posted. It's really cool. I'm not a super huge fan of little Vox education things, but this was a really well put together series of maps that.
Well, especially if you live in a state where people say, "Oh, if you drive an EV, you're just burning coal." Well, you can say, "Well, not in my state, unless your state burns coal."
Maybe not. Yeah, unless you're in West Virginia or something.
Yeah.
Then you have to burn coal. I think even if you don't need coal, you have to burn coal in West Virginia.
And you have to marry your cousin too, I think.
Wow. There. How many viewers have we just lost from that comment, Paul?
Sorry.
We lost a brother and sister pair. Why? Why did I do it? I didn't have to.
It's low-hanging fruit.
My apology, everyone in West Virginia. All of you. I'm sorry. And I'm going to apologize for this next one. Let's talk to Evan Fusco and see what he has to say this week.
Hey, so like the big Tesla news this past week is apparently their 12-year-old interns that they hire have put together this letter that they sent out. So those of you, just a little background, back when the Tesla Chargers were very first announced back in late 2012, Elon made these glowing comments about that they were free for life, unlimited usage, sounded amazing. And then at a recent presentation, basically for the shareholders, he mentioned something about that there were a handful of users that seemed to be abusing them for local usage, for personal stuff instead of charging at home. They were always charging at the superchargers, and that they were sending letters out to some of those people. Well, about a week and a half ago, letters started going out to a lot of people. I was not one of them, but that's kind of part of the mystery, because nobody can quite figure out how the people who received these letters were identified, because many of them don't live in proximity of a supercharger. Some of them are as much as 100 miles away from the closest supercharger and very infrequently charge on them. But the letter, I think it was intended to be informational, of please don't overuse the chargers, try to charge at home, etc. But there was a line in there that kind of got to a lot of people that basically said, it reads this way: as a frequent user of local superchargers, we ask that you decrease your local supercharging and promptly move your Model S once charging is complete. Doing so ensures a better experience for the whole Tesla community and allows supercharger resources to be available to those who need them most. And a lot of people who received those letters really took offense, because the vast majority didn't feel like they were overusing or abusing the superchargers. And unfortunately, Tesla really hasn't responded to this in any way, shape, or form. They've basically just kind of left it out there. I haven't heard of any more people getting those letters, so maybe they at least shut off the stream. But it really would have been nice to hear some sort of a response in the form of a quasi-apology or something, saying, we inadvertently sent this out to people that have not been abusing superchargers, and maybe mention something about the scope of the actual, what they perceive as a problem. People are, I think, particularly frustrated that they just haven't really outlined specifics of what they can consider abusive versus appropriate use of the superchargers. They've kind of left it vague, and yet they send out these letters that come across as pretty accusatory. So this is, in my opinion, a pretty huge misstep on Tesla's part as far as the way this whole process was.
And they have all the data of who's using them, so they could have personalized each letter and said, this is your usage, this is your neighbor's usage, like the power company does with a little graph, and then people might be shamed into not using it who were abusing it.
Right. And I think the other piece of that is also, I think people felt like they were promised unlimited usage and with no restrictions. And
until Elon changes his mind.
And now Tesla's out there, and
So Evan, did they ever
Right.
ever claim it was completely free to use forever? Like, is that what it
Yes.
was promoted as?
Yes.
Its initial statement, free forever. No for long distance traveling, they sort. And if you go on the Tesla website and look at like there's a thing like calculator. One of the options is definitely on super those calculations. So even to that end, you can still look at their website and come away with the understanding that that is a reasonable option for you.
Evan, we're losing your audio. You're dropping
Oh,
out.
really? That's not good.
It's tragedy of the commons. I mean, if you make something free, there are going to be people that abuse it. This should not be a surprise at all. In fact, I wrote an article about workplace charging. We've had it at my job for 6 years, which is more than most places have had it, so gives some insight. And we've tried a few different ways of doing it. And Tom Saxton from Plug in America also wrote an article, and both of us came to the conclusion that a small fee is much better than free if you want to encourage sharing. If you have enough for everybody to use whatever they want, sure, make it free. But if you don't have enough and you want people to share, you have to have something that encourages people to move along.
Yeah.
With the best or worst of motives. Hey,
Right.
Patrick, why don't you pick this up and tell us about your 2-minute topic?
Speaking of free charging, the Portland Airport has added 42 level 1 charging stations.
Wow.
They claim this is the largest cluster of EV charging at a U.S. airport. They already had a handful, I'm not sure exactly how many, level 2 charging stations in short-term parking. And here at an airport, in long-term parking, you're not going to be there to move your car. So just make it free. And level 1 is plenty for long-term parking. You're getting about 5 miles of range per hour, but if you're gone over a weekend, your car should be full by the time you get back, or certainly after being plugged in for a couple days, have enough to get you home. That's my 2-minute topic. And
That's a great idea. That's an awesome idea. I wish every airport would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Portland.
Soon, maybe some of them will. Now that Portland's blazed that trail. Mr. Coughlin.
Yes. My 2-minute topic is kind of local. From the University of Waterloo was announced yesterday that a couple of students there have put together an autonomous vehicle that will be able to travel on non-roads within campuses or resorts or other areas of use. And it's amazing that just a couple of students co-founded a company. It's called Verdon Labs, and they had showed it on the local news last night. I posted a link to it, and it's just a golf cart. It cost them $10,000 to put together. Golf cart, a laptop, a bunch of sensors, a great GPS receiver, and this thing knows within inches where it is. And there's a lot of the demonstration of it yesterday as it drove around barriers. It stopped at stop signs. It was able to stop before it ran over a person. It knows where it is and knows its surroundings. So quite impressive that they were able to put that together on such a low budget.
Cool.
Wow.
Hey.
So if they can do it, anybody can do it, right?
Anybody.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You know, I just like when you said that, ran over somebody. I'm like, so what if I hack my autonomous car to run over somebody I don't like?
That's a whole new area of law.
Yeah. Attorneys are going to have to start learning code.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Well, I actually have 3 topics that I'm going to try and cover in maybe 2 minutes plus. So let me get right on it. First, I grew up in a little community in North San Diego County called Escondido. And hands, who's heard of Escondido? Yep.
Heard of it.
that's what I
Wasn't
figured.
that where Karate
Wow.
Kid was from?
Who of you? Wow.
Wasn't there a movie, Escondido Man?
No, that's. Luckily, no. Pauly Shore had nothing to do with us, thankfully. Nonetheless, this little hamlet in North San Diego County is notable for one thing. The school district is actually divided into two halves, and the half that runs the high schools, the 3 high schools, one of which I attended, will all soon be powered by Tesla industrial power supplies.
Whoa,
They
cool.
are putting in power supplies so that obviously they can capture or buy electricity when it's cheap and then use them to offset the higher costs, which doubled or tripled during the day in California. It's a very interesting idea. Obviously, there's a little bit of government aid in there, incentives to help them make this work, but I think that's the perfect sort of use for that kind of thing. So good for them, and I hope they save money. So yay, my old high school for doing something cool. Yeah. Second.
Wait. What about solar? If they have the batteries, why not put some solar panels up too?
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially in sunny California.
It didn't
With a
say.
big roof.
And both schools do have enough acreage they could put up some solar, and obviously they've got lots of flat top buildings, or at least 2 of them do. That they could put up some solar. I don't know if that's in the plans. It should be, and I totally agree. Yeah, you would think that between solar and buying cheap electricity, they could probably cut their utility bills significantly. Or they could be doing some really cool stuff with high-tension electricity in the classroom. Maybe. Anyways. Second, I'm in the process of looking for a vehicle, and one of the vehicles that my wife really liked, because this is for her, is the Kia Soul. And I had what I like to call a come to Jesus moment.
I like to call those epiphanies.
Yeah, it's an epiphany. It's a revelatory experience, whatever you like. It is. I priced out a Kia Soul for her. $29,000.
Whoa! Was it
Yeah.
gold plated or something?
That's what I said. I said I can't imagine any Kia being worth $29,000 if you stuck 20 grand in the glove box. But yeah, a Kia Soul for $29,000.
Wow.
I mean, we're talking like leather and nav and a sunroof.
What's even better, if you buy that car, a year from now it will be worth 12.
Yeah. You drive off the lot, it's worth 15. You know? The amazing thing is that it's still worth 12 after 12 months. So, having just Kia owners, feel free to educate me at facebook.com/whatdrivesus. Tell me why they're so great. I would love to know, and I genuinely look forward to your opinions. Otherwise,
They're great if you have a bunch of adult hamsters to transport.
is that okay? They both make those funny shaped cars, and obviously the Soul is one, and then what is it? The Nissan Cube
And I think it's the Soul is the hip hop hamsters.
is the hip hop hamsters. And finally, we're going to go back to Tesla for a second, and I've got some background music courtesy of who gave me the background music? Was this Patrick? I think. But
Maybe.
yeah, it was Patrick. So. I've been really trying, baby. Wired Magazine posted the video, and I'm sure most of you have seen it, of the Tesla robotic arm that actually seeks out the charging point, kind of like an alien snake, and inserts itself very gently but firmly and charges the car. It's kind of cool. But Wired was all creeped out. Wired thought that was there was something really wrong about that, and I just the people at Wired need to get out more. Is all I'm saying. It's totally cool. The music is totally appropriate, and if that was really too intense for you, seriously, you need to see some counseling at home, because things at home got to be kind of rough.
Did you see with that the Inside EV site, they put a censored box over when it clicked in?
Don't show it to the kids.
Don't get kids away from it. So let's jump into the major news for this week, which starts off with me, because it's all about me, folks. A big, huge mea culpa for me, because I've been dissing the whole Apple Car thing now for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And every once in a while we get a little additional information, a little tidbit, and I find a way to say no. And honestly, I still don't believe it's going to happen. I still think it's not going to happen. But this week, it became public that Apple is contracting with a local company in the Bay Area that has an autonomous driving course that is secure for testing autonomous vehicles. Now, there's no reason to believe that this Apple vehicle is autonomous because we don't know that it is, but that's, I think, the assumption that a lot of people have gone to. There's no reason that it has to be. An Apple EV would be potentially every bit as disruptive as an Apple autonomous EV. And there's probably more people that would buy an Apple EV right now than would buy an autonomous car right now. Anyway, so
if a couple of students can do it, I'm sure that the Apple can do it.
Exactly. Believe me, Apple's going to be contacting that high school very soon. You know, they're going to like all of a sudden.
But what will Apple use for the infotainment system in that car?
Android Auto.
In tune.
iTunes Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Radio.
Nice.
So it's looking worse and worse for me, and I'll stand by. I still think
when you can buy it at the Apple Store, it's real.
Absolutely, and you can still explain all of this by Apple's making a suite of electronics, maybe as an OEM for cars, to sell them to car companies and go, look, you want the whole kit and caboodle, here it is. We've engineered it to work as a system. Buy it, plug it into your car. You don't have to waste all that money.
And Toyota's at the front of that line to buy that technology.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to that in just a second. In fact, let's get to that right now. The Wall Street Journal tested Apple CarPlay this week, and they really liked it. Now, they had some caveats about it, and I'm going to go to that. One of the caveats was they thought the Google Maps was much better than Apple Maps, which I think, honestly, lots of people do. But in general, they really liked it. They really liked the integration. They liked the way it worked. And, yeah, it kind of makes Toyota's, we're not going to use this for both Android Auto and CarPlay, kind of look bad. They tested it in a Corvette. I mean, you know, if you can get anything to work in a Corvette, you're probably ahead of the game. So that was me dissing the vet. Nobody's going to stand up for that.
Nope.
Fair enough.
Well, if these are aftermarket retrofits, the car's not all that relevant. I mean, you get some space to stick it in there and whatever Pioneer deck or whatever it is they're sticking in there and some power. I mean, the car's not that important to the equation for aftermarket.
Right, but this is this is coming stock in this new vet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Chevrolet is
all right.
This is rolling it out, and this is the first model that's been placed with it inside. The new Volt is getting it as well.
Yeah, Chevy's been really good about, you know, they're all about it.
Now,
So
does Chevy only come with Apple, or does it come with Apple or Android?
Comes with both.
yeah,
Cool. That's
Or
smart.
either. Yeah.
Give the customer choice. Good
Yeah.
idea.
I don't think it's going to be bad. It's interesting. I was kind of fiddling around with Waze today, and Waze is really cool.
Yeah.
Way cool. And
I like Waze.
It's Waze cool.
it's
I'm a knight or a warrior or something.
on Waze.
Yeah, I'm a warrior.
You're just
I'm a zombie.
Ninja.
Wow.
I'm oh no, the level thing where you get up to be royalty. There's like rankings.
What's the top level? Ludicrous?
Like no, it's like
God, that Tesla guy always bragging.
jealousy does not befit you, Patrick.
Oh, it fits me very well. I beg to differ.
Nicely done. Just out of curiosity, Evan, though, so does Waze come on your, okay, it's on your phone, but does it mirror on your touchscreen?
Somebody developed an app that will work on the touchscreen, so I can't enter road hazards and traffic conditions and things like that through the touchscreen, but I can see what has been entered. So it's good, not great, as that goes. So I still tend to have to keep the app open if I want to be able to enter obstacles or police or those kinds of things on there myself. Here, let me get me back to normal.
Or
Sorry, white balance.
Thank you. That helps. It was really weird. Yeah, you went real orange when you put the. It was like I hate to keep making this point, but it does kind of really. Toyota's behind a big rock here, and this new system of theirs has got to be amazing, because both Android Auto and CarPlay are getting a lot of good press, and a lot of companies are going to be on it, and they are going to look very odd being the only ones that won't integrate with smartphones.
Yep.
Seems weird. Well, maybe something not quite as weird is our friend John Volker at Green Car Reports was talking about the 2016 Leaf. The two for Leaf 2.0, the two basic trim levels that it comes with, an 84-mile range base and 110-mile range for the upper tier level. That's pretty exciting.
It is, and I'm surprised that they're waiting this long to do it. After the first one came out in 2011, I thought, oh, 2013 they'll do this. Oh, wait, 2014 they'll do this. But I'm happy they finally are.
Well, I am too, but, like you say, if this had been 2013, now our 2015, 2016 expectations would be significantly higher for range. I think you're coming up against a pretty big wall of what other people are putting out right now.
It's you know what? It has been a long time. And I think Evan makes a really interesting, good point in that, yeah, if they'd introduced this range in 2013, they'd be under the gun to do something by now already, again, and what? Offer a 150-mile range in a Leaf? I mean, all of a sudden, you're moving that car out of the price bracket into another price bracket, I would guess. I mean, unless batteries...
Well, I think they're hoping batteries come down fast enough so that their manufacturing cost isn't much more.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe they will be when they start buying them from Tesla.
No.
Oh, after Gigafactory.
Yeah.
But if it's an upgrade and they still have a base model that is an affordable price, Chelsea has talked about this in the past. When the EV1 was out, most people bought the lower range vehicle. There was a high range one available, but that's not what most people were forking out the dollars for. It might have been the opposite for Tesla.
Well, different economic bracket too.
Yes.
If you're going to spend $80,000, you can spend $100,000.
And not even notice it.
Yeah, if you're looking at spending $35,000, maybe going 40, 45. I don't think I want to go.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they could have had it, and I don't think it would have closed them out of the market if they had an upgrade option. They would have had plenty of people that had done that, and they could charge them for it. Anyway, they will now, so that's great.
Right.
Yeah, it's best to have choice. If you've got that choice levels, more people can get involved, and you may get that uptick in sales because people take the more expensive vehicle. So it's always best to have more choice.
And as the salesman says, it's only $20 more a month.
Right.
Well, that's what most people look at is that monthly payment. They don't care. Oh, 60, 72 months, who cares? I don't care.
Yeah.
The 4-year
your loan is only 128 months.
Yeah. I remember when 4 years was a long car loan?
Yeah.
Now 72 months, no big deal.
Yeah.
Most leases are 36 months. Man, crazy. I'm just curious, Mark, if they offered the Volt, well, does the Volt just comes with one?
Just one.
Right. Do you think there would be interest in, like, if there was an upgraded battery pack?
I know there would be. I know there were people that would jump on that just because they're into this EV game now. They want to go farther and longer. And if there's an option, I think that would be taken.
Evan's got a scary, like, Jack Nicholson evil murderer.
Sorry, guys. That's right. Yeah, EV game. Whew. Yeah, me too. But sometimes I really want to go 260 miles when I can only go 250. It's
I get it, though. I mean, we've all done it, whether it's hypermiling a gas car or, how can I get that extra half a mile? I just need that 0.5, and I'll go from 49.5 to 50. That for some reason that's important. I don't know why.
It's not really any different than the guy that's doing the quarter and 11.1 and he wants to hit 11.0. It's part of the game.
Sure.
It's part of the human spirit. I don't know.
No, I get it. I'm excited. I hope Nissan's. I'll be very interested to see what the pricing is going to be. They did not announce pricing. We can only speculate on what it might be. And Patrick, do you have any inside track on that?
I don't. And in fact, this is just a leak from a dealer, right? So this is not from Nissan directly.
Right.
So who knows how credible it is?
Well, that's true. It could be totally credible, or there could be a dealer getting legal letters right now. From Nissan, and please stop that, please. So speaking of things we're seeing more and more of out there, folks in the Bay Area are seeing more and more Tesla Model X's driving around, sometimes semi-wrapped up, most of the time wrapped up in some ways. We don't really know what they're doing, but Tesla appears to be ramping up to actually deliver this vehicle possibly as early as late September. They have 20,000 deposits. One of them belongs to that.
To my wife.
No, to a woman he knows.
Yes. Number 5,560 something.
So, have you gotten any communication?
None. So the latest rumors are that the Founders Series reservation holders have already configured their vehicles, and based on the last announcement with generic information that Elon gave, we are anticipating that it's possible that the site will go live for configuration in the next week or so. But given Tesla's history, I wouldn't be counting on it. So we'll see.
So I take it you're not in that founders group?
Oh, no.
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 I don't know.
Those are like special people that like contribute thousands and thousands of dollars to Tesla and
contribute
things. Yeah, like
you mean like stockholders, or what contribute?
Like
what
big stockholders, like huge high-end stockholders and people that were. That's why they call them Founder Series. People that were involved in the startup of the company and things like that. That's how the model. That's how the Model S rolled out as well. The very first vehicles you saw were Founder Series vehicles, and those were people that either paid super duper extra, they were the first to hand Elon a check, they were people that helped the company get started, and then there's the Signature Series, which anybody can be part of that if you just are willing to spend more money than is reasonable for the vehicle, and then then there's the rest of us.
Wow. So you have no idea when you might get your car?
Not really. We're hoping, fingers crossed, by the end of the year. We've got sorry, got a dog barking. We're hoping we take a ski trip to Paul's part of the world every second week of January, and we'd love to have it by then. But we'll see. It's dependent on a multitude of variables. How fast can they start ramping up production. If they do it at the same rate that they did the Model S, there's no way we'll have it. They didn't produce their 5,000th vehicle until many months into production of the Model S, and yet we anticipate they've learned a lot of lessons from Model S, and it's very similar configuration, so maybe they'll be able to ramp up quicker. But then we keep hearing rumors that they're having difficulty with their suppliers of getting certain parts and things that they need, and if the suppliers can't bring in the parts that they need fast enough, they're not going to be able to ramp up production. So nobody knows, and nobody's saying.
Well, they're obviously out driving production vehicles, just, I guess, to work out the bugs, to make sure everything's there. I mean, hopefully they've learned something from the Model S, and the Model X will roll out a little smoother and maybe a little quicker.
Certainly hoping so.
Yeah.
So Evan, you can drive all the way to Colorado for a ski trip. There's enough superchargers along the way?
Yep, it's about 190 miles from where I live to the Independence, Missouri supercharger, which is just east of Kansas City, and from there it's easy. They're spaced out no more than about 120 miles apart.
Wow.
And you think you could do that without getting a letter from Tesla about using them too much?
Exactly what they're for.
But in the winter, they're going to have less range in the cold.
Yeah, it'll be less.
You have to turn off the heaters inside the car. Freeze your family. Get the range.
Honestly, the thing, more than the heaters, I'm more worried about. We'll probably put a ski rack on the back of the on the hitch, and I'm a little concerned about how the drag's going to impact things. That's on it because we'll be loaded and we'll have the ski rack on there, and that may be a bigger impact even than the cold.
Yeah. Between the weight of all the people and luggage and the skis.
Right. Plus the cold, plus maybe if the road conditions are bad, if there's snow on the road and things like that, that all factors in. But even saying that, they're spaced pretty close together across Kansas, and I don't think we'll have any trouble. I'm really not worried about it at all.
Wow.
Cool.
I can't even imagine what it would be like.
If you get it in time, you should do a blog like the family ski trip cross country in a Tesla.
We should.
You've never run out of charge anywhere, right?
Hey, shut up. Man. Patrick, on me tonight, man.
When you run out of charge in the winter in the middle of Kansas, not only you can't go anywhere, you freeze your ass off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ouch.
That would suck.
Yeah, Connor's ramming you. Did you guys have some fight?
I know. What the hell? I don't know.
No, he won't freeze. You could just pull the batteries out and light them on fire.
Oh, jeez.
Short them out. They burn on their own, right?
Wow.
Okay. Why I'm going to do this? Enough picking on Pusco.
Thank you.
Let's.
I'm just jealous.
No doubt. No doubt. So, our friends at PriusChat.com.
I've never heard of that.
I know some of you guys have never heard of that site. There's actually a site where people chat about Prius all day long.
Oh, how boring.
It's boring.
What kind of nerds go to that kind of site?
Let me tell you, the nerd that posted this is wearing a hat that looks like a strawberry. Okay?
Yep.
Is that what that is?
Okay. That's all I'm going to say. The link will be in the show notes, listeners and viewers. Please visit that and see what that nerd looks like. So Prius Chat today reported that the 4th generation 2016 Prius is going to be revealed in September at the Frankfurt Auto Show. They already knew that, though. But what Prius Chat found out was that, well, I guess through the automotive news, there will be a U.S.-based reveal September 8th in Las Vegas.
Woo!
So they're moving the Frankfurt Auto Show to Las Vegas?
Yeah. So, September 8th in Las Vegas.
Your calendars, people.
That'd be cool.
And Prius Chat's going to be there. I think he said that, didn't he? Yeah. He'll be on site. And you know what that means?
And the 8th is a Tuesday, so the Wednesday show after that can get all the details.
Oh, perfect.
Well,
We should give him a list of questions. Like, are they still using lithium? Will there be a plug-in? How much range will that have in electric mode? I
Well,
don't know.
it's
What else do
support
you guys want
Apple
to know?
CarPlay and Google.
Exactly. We already know that answer.
Yeah.
yeah. Tell us about the infotainment systems.
Yeah.
Well, we will certainly try to get as much information directly from that event to the show following that. Check back for more, or of course, check our friends at Prius Chat and see what it's going to look like, what its specs there are. We don't even really know what Toyota is going to release that day. They're going to reveal the car, but sometimes these things are pulling a cloth off a car and going, "That's it, there it is." So
So the 30-mile plug-in, or 35. How many miles is this plug-in going to have?
well, this isn't about this is just the hybrid,
Oh,
not
Right.
the plug-in.
That's how I feel too. Oh.
wake me up later.
Right. As far as I know, this is just the hybrid, just the standard Prius hybrid, the main, the stalwart of the line. Yeah, whether they're going to talk about plug-in or anything else, who knows?
So what year will they catch up with Chevy and the Volt?
2020? That's the year after they dropped the Mirai.
Yeah.
Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. That was in their narrative leaking through.
That amount of mileage that's been claimed for possibility for the Prius plug-in, is that come from any reliable sources, or is it just all guesswork?
Unnamed source.
Because it's kind of funny that, in Toyota, when they're making announcements and they're saying that electricity is just not it, or plug-in is just not it, and then in the background, if they're developing this, it's kind of like two messages, and it seems kind of strange.
Well, it's almost the only sensible thing, in my opinion, that they're doing, is hedging their bet on Mirai. I mean, the idea that they're going to go all in on Mirai and ignore electricity seems ridiculous to me. I mean, at least building it, if they're not going to build an EV, at least building a decent plug-in kind of hedges that bet. Now,
And to Russell's point, they at least have the resources to run multiple models at the same time so that they can hedge their bets. So but yeah, who knows?
One thing I'd like to see in Colorado is all-wheel drive Prius, and I know there's been rumors of it, so keep our fingers crossed for that. That would be big.
As we talked about earlier, Toyota follows Kanban and Lean, and part of that is you do hedge your bets. You develop multiple technologies, and then at the end, as late as possible, decide which one would best fit the market.
we'll see. Yeah, Toyota's just a lot of question marks shooting onto my head like a cartoon character.
Well, like in Europe, the Prius V has a lithium battery and a third seat, and it's a 7-passenger vehicle. And that's because Europeans are smaller than Americans, and they figured Americans could fit 7 people into a Prius V.
They're like cute little elves.
Yeah.
No, it's more like Americans are fat. It's a fat joke. It's,
Hey. Folks.
I resemble that.
Yeah. Wait.
But obviously they have a hybrid that has lithium batteries as a standard feature, and so they have that done. They have all-wheel drive in the Highlander and the new RAV hybrid, so they have that engineering done. So just squeeze it into a Prius.
The question is, did they?
Yeah, we'll know in September.
Did they? We'll know less than a month from now what's going on. We should probably think up some good questions and go from there. That way we can make sure that the reporting is complete, as it were. But yeah, I can definitely say we'll definitely have the insight on that shortly after.
Questions on our Facebook page.
Yes, facebook.com/whatdrivesus. Wow, anybody else want to say anything rude about the Prius?
I'm over my quota of rude.
Are ya? Yeah, you've been kind of off.
Wow, yeah.
And that's
Just
good.
having fun.
I'm not.
I'm gonna have another beer.
Yeah, I think you need a few more beers, sir.
But I hope the Gen 4, as they get older, burns as much oil as the Gen 2 and now the Gen 3, so I can keep selling people replacement engines.
Really? Is
Yeah,
that really a problem?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He missed his
Wow.
PSA.
Yeah. We see Priuses come in here, they have like half a quart of oil left in them. They're just throwing it out the tailpipe. You don't see it because the catalytic converter scrubs it. There's no blue smoke, but any high mileage Prius is just drinking the oil.
What do you call high mileage?
Anywhere from 110 to over that. I mean, I got a Gen 3 customer, 120,000. He's burning a quart of oil every 500 miles.
Wow.
Which is not very Toyota.
So, are you saying that this is a basic design problem with that engine?
You know, I'm hearing about it. All modern cars are doing it because they're using very thin oil, 020, to reduce friction, but it doesn't lubricate the parts as well, and the engines kind of last the warranty period, and then they start drinking the oil. It's happening with Subaru, VWs, lots of cars. So.
It's probably a topic for another day or another
that's a
place.
whole
But I'd actually like to talk to you about, because I've been using synthetic 020 in mine forever, and about every 30,000 miles I get a used oil analysis, and it's been amazing every time I've gotten that. So I'm not really showing any evidence of excess wear. So that's why I'm a little baffled by that.
Do you check the oil in between services?
No, but I don't serve.
Good.
I mean, I do my own, and it's never been low.
Okay, well that's good and what it appears to be is you let it go once low, and then it's a snowball effect after that. Then
Interesting.
You know.
Yeah, interesting.
Some sort of wear pattern.
Sorry to go off topic there, you guys.
Yep.
No, dude, that's what we're here to talk about. This stuff. I'm fine with it. Mark may fall asleep. I don't think
because there hasn't been like a class action on the Prius, but I know in the Camry there's a generation of regular Camrys that Toyota's had to replace a whole shit ton of engines because of excessive oil consumption.
Yeah, that's really interesting because I go 10,000 between oil changes because I've been using those used oil analyses as guides, so I don't check it more than once every 10,000.
Right.
And it's interesting. Maybe I'll check it.
You go check it.
Because I'm at 150 plus right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think Evan's got a 150K car in his garage.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What is this oil stuff you're talking about?
Patrick.
Oh.
Hey, what about spark plugs, Patrick? When do you change your spark plugs? You know.
Yeah, every time I change the oil, which is never.
While we're on this, Mark, any idea on like volt maintenance on the older Volts?
I have a 2012 and just had my first oil change last year. It's supposed to be every 2 years. You're supposed to do an oil change. Brake pads, I've checked them and said with the regen braking on the car, I've got no wear on them whatsoever. So the rotors are fine and smooth. I don't know what I'm going to do with the spark plugs. I have no idea. So I'm just kind of playing it by ear and talking to other Volt members to see what's been going on with them. But since the car is not using that generator all that often, in my case, it's going to be a long time between maintenance.
Wow. That's good news. I mean, that generator, how often does it run?
It will run regardless every 45 days for a little bit to stir the tank.
Right.
It also will run in extreme cold weather, as we get every once in a while up here.
Yeah.
So it'll fire, and it'll also use the excess heat from the engine to warm the cabin. It's got a dual heater, both electric and, of course, from the generator. So it does, in my case, it does run, here and there. But of course, in the spring, the summer, and the early fall, really, unless I'm going on an extreme long trip, my motor never runs.
Wow. So it's a matter of maintaining some things.
I'm sorry, Patrick?
With a normal engine, you would have how many miles since it's been serviced. But with this, that's not an exact. It doesn't always run. So do you have a number of hours it was ran, or how do you get a measurement of how much you've used the engine?
Well, there are stats as to how many miles the engine has run compared to EV, so you can see the mileage that the engine has pushed or propelled the car.
And I think GM has like a sensor that detects the quality and level of the oil, and will tell you a percentage of when it should be changed.
Yeah, and that looks at time, and it looks at how much the motors run, and it does through some sort of calculation and gives you a percentage.
Right.
Great.
So how many miles do you have on your engine?
I got a small amount. I've only got about 31,000 kilometers, which you'll have to figure out what that is in miles. But mine was an extremely low mileage vehicle when I got it, and I haven't been putting on a lot of miles lately, so fairly low. But there are documented cases of people with 125,000 miles on these cars, as well as I think the top one is 250,000 miles.
Wow.
And he's saying all he's doing is oil changes and tire rotations.
Wow.
It's about 19,000 miles, if I did my math right.
Okay.
Wow. Amazing. It's an amazing car.
Yeah, and we were invited out to the Dream Cruise on Woodward Avenue in Detroit recently, and saw the new one in person. So that was kind of neat.
Does it look nice in person?
It looks better than the photos, in my opinion. People have different views on what the car is. It's gotten more mainstream. You hear those complaints, but I don't know. I think it's a good-looking car regardless. And when you see it in person, it certainly holds better than what it does in photographs.
What about the interior?
I think it looks just fine. It actually looks a little bit more sophisticated than my Gen 1, so it's very nice.
Yeah, I thought they I think sophisticated is a nice way to put it. It's a little more elegant.
Yeah.
They've kind of
Less plasticky, or
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I guess some people could call this a complaint, but I mean they've kind of gone a little more mainstream rather than trying to be a real novel look on the interior. It looks like a car.
Yeah.
Go figure. It looks like a car. Maybe the smartest thing I've ever said on What Drives Us. 5 years ago, I just said the Bolt looks like a car. And on that note, let's end this show before I say something else stupid. Let's see. Unless anybody else has anything, I'll open up the floor for a moment.
Next week, I promise to come prepared with insults for Patrick.
Oh no! Oh no!
Throw that gauntlet down, have you, huh? Okay. Good.
No, they have to be off the cuff. Or they
The
don't
gloves are off, baby.
Yeah.
The two EV drivers going head to head.
Exactly. I can't wait to make up that like sports team graphic. Nissan versus.
I'm starting out at a disadvantage. That's for sure.
That's right. You don't have as much range.
I'm gonna need to bring more beer.
Now. Now. Well, let's start with some shoutouts, and let's go in the reverse order. We did 2-minute news. Mr. Coughlin, any shoutouts this week?
Yeah, I'd like to say thanks very much to Howard at GM Hamtramck, who let us come visit. And we had 25 of us that went down there. Had a great view of the Volt being made, and had a wonderful time. Ended up at the Ren Center for some lunch, and it was an all-around great day. So thanks very much to Howard.
Awesome. And I actually totally skipped over that. The next time you're on, we will talk more about your experience with that, because you had some great pictures and had it looks like a cool day.
Yeah, it was fun.
Awesome. Mr. Connor.
Hello. So since Tony's not here, I'm gonna take a moment and go look at our Facebook page, and we've got our regulars, Lee Moon and Austin Kinzer, who have been commenting and liking our stuff. So thanks to the two of you. And you can find us there at facebook.com/whatdrivesus. And as always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org. And we're also on Facebook and Twitter and Google+. Thanks.
Is that all?
Yeah.
You're not on Pinterest?
That's true, we are, yep. If you want to see some plug-in car porn, we're on Pinterest.
Pinterest. That's so beautiful.
No recipes.
No
cat pictures.
Here's some OEVA recipes. Take a Nissan Leaf and Dr. Fusco.
Hey.
I'm afraid, but please.
So, from the only driver of a real electric vehicle, I would like to recommend everyone consider taking a look at TeslaMotorsClub.com. It's a great resource if you're interested in more information about Tesla. And it's good to be back. I'll try to make it again next week.
Hey, well, it's good to have you back. And next week, maybe we can all flip you off on the screen.
I took that money I would have spent on the Tesla and bought their stock instead. How about that?
Oh, yeah, I wish I had too. Yeah, as with most of my investment decisions, I of course chose the depreciating asset over the $30 per share Tesla stock that was available at the same time.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, an asset that never depreciates, Mr. Guzik.
Since Danny isn't here, I'd like to plug Prius Chat, which is the great website, how I met all you guys, and still is a great resource for the Prius community, and hope it keeps on growing in the future.
Wow.
And you can find strawberry hats at Prius Chat.
I don't get that picture, but and lastly, I want to plug my business, Boulder Hybrids, BoulderHC.com. Anybody in the mountain states that needs their Prius fixed, bring it on in. We had a guy came down from Cheyenne, Wyoming today, which is almost 2-hour drive, and says he doesn't like the dealer up there, and it's worth coming to Boulder to fix his car. So that's
Nice.
good to hear.
Yeah.
So BoulderHC.com.
That's right.
If you're anywhere near Colorado and you have a hybrid or an EV, Paul's the man to see.
I'm nowhere near Colorado, but I'm going out there if I have a problem.
See? There you go. Yeah, he can take care of that oily, leaky Prius in the garage.
That I'm unaware of. Now I'm freaking paranoid.
Now you're having anxiety.
Well, right after this show.
Ever since you said that, Paul, Evan's mood has changed. He's like,
Yeah,
go out into the garage and go, "What's wrong with you?"
Well, go check your dipstick.
Yeah.
Hi. I want to thank a couple of people. Gemcar Colorado has been posting and stuff on the What Drives Us Facebook page. Thank you to them for that. Chris and Cheryl K., thanks. Good to see you and on the page as well as obviously Austin and Lee and I'm forgetting somebody. The person that I forgot, I'm sorry. I'll mention it next week. As always, I want to thank Michael Manring for our theme music. You can visit him at manthing.com. Of course, our Facebook page is facebook.com/whatdrivesus. It's very easy to find. Go to the page, like it. 633 other suckers. I mean, people, wonderful people have already liked our page, and we love them for that. So come on, join the conversation. I do grab news from there from time to time, and we do argue with people, so it's kind of fun. Let's see. The Prius Chat Shop is the place to go if you have a Prius. Go help Danny put his girls through college. It's priuschat.com/shop. You know, I mean, they need shoes too. So go and buy a little screen shield or a heat sensor or mud flaps or
Strawberry hat.
strawberry hat. This is the shittiest promo for the Prius Chat Shop I've ever done.
That's what Danny gets for not being here.
No kidding. He deserves it.
Yeah. Okay. PriusChat.com/shop. Go there and buy Prius stuff. My genuine, heartfelt, and damn, this was a fun show. Thanks to Mark Coughlin, Patrick Connor, Evan Fusco, and Paul Guzik.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is my favorite day of the week. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
And as always, thanks to you. I'm looking right at you. I'm looking right at you now. I'm not looking down here. Thanks to you, the viewers, the listeners, because without you, this would really just be pointless wanking. So, which we might do anyway, just because it's fun. But it's more fun to have you involved. So, as we always like to say, download us next week and find out what drives us.
We just found out what drives you.
Find out what drives us.
Oh, we're still on the air. Sorry.
Dave, that joke. We're gonna earn the explicit tag.
Oh my.
Yeah.